thank you again for being a part of this. Thank you for connecting with me, and with in the hopes of inspiring other people to share how they're feeling. It's an uncertain time, it's a scary time, and I know for teenagers, especially, school was that space where it gave you a chance to think about your future, think big. You may have hated it at some point, but you need it. As you know, there's a part of it where you need that schedule, that continuity. Now, you're calling from where? So we're gonna start with your name, age, and where you're from. Like where you're calling from.
Okay, so my name is Melissa Ramirez Hernandez. I am 17 and I'm calling from Santa Monica, California.
Santa Monica. Oof.
Yeah.
So from Santa Monica to New York City.
Yeah. Big difference.
Big difference. Now,
Yeah.
Melissa, what has been your experience from the moment that you started listening about COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic to the moment where your city slash state decided to go into full restriction, social distancing till now? What has been your overall experience?
Um, Overall, I think surprisingly, I've been okay. Like mentally, I've kind of found ways to feel, um, kind of kind of accept it because I know there's not much I can do besides like continue social distancing and trying to like stay at home and just following the regulations the state has put in place. But I think it hasn't been horrible, which I was really surprised because when I talk to other friends, it seems like a lot of them are having a hard time. But thankfully, I'm okay so far. And I think it's definitely been a process. And there's been like times where I wish I could just like go out and see everyone, but I know for like the overall well-being of everyone else, I can't do that. So I think that's the only reason I think I've been able to like kind of um, stick to the regulations we've put in place.
I get that. I get that completely. So
Yeah.
walk me through the process. Walk me through how it was it when you heard the news, how your family dealt with it. Walk me through like your life while this is going,
Well, this is
while this
on.
is going on or unfolding.
Yeah. So I remember when it first started, my school, we heard it and we would have like discussions in my English class about it. And I think I remember the day before that we had a discussion about if we thought our school would close or not because a lot of schools within our like kind of like city, I guess, were like closing. And like we knew like LA USD had already closed, but our Santa Monica district hadn't. And so we were kind of confused because teachers thought that it would be a good idea to close it. And then we'd hear that some teachers thought that it wasn't such a big deal. And so our teachers kind of just told us to keep on studying, keep doing the stuff we did regularly, and kind of wait until we got actual like official news. And the day before everything closed down, I remember studying for a test I had like on Monday, and our teacher just told us he would send out like any information. So I was studying over the weekend, and then I think it was like Sunday night that they like officially said that we were not going to have any school. And at that time, I thought it'd be maybe like a 1 to 2 week thing, and then obviously it wasn't. And I think it was kind of a shock. And initially, like you said, I was kind of glad. I was like, okay, that's not bad. And I think slowly as like the days progressed, I realized that although sometimes school can be like really stressful, um, it was a nice place to be, and I was able to have like friends there, and I was able to talk to people and just kind of get like fresh air. So it was I started missing it, and with my family, my dad I think continued to work for like a week after they started um they like our official news came out, and then my mom stopped working, and my dad works at a hotel, so he started to notice that like the amount of like people there started to kind of go down, so they slowly closed, and obviously they kind of had to like close everything down because you can't um, have it open. So I think we realized that, and then um, we all kind of stayed at home, and my brother came back from college, and we weren't sure if he was coming back or if he was going to stay there, but I think we as a family decided that the best thing we could do is have him come back, because he was going to be alone if it was. Um, I think I come from a Christian family background, so all of this while this was happening, my mom seemed to be completely like calm, and I was kind of like, I wouldn't say worried, but I was kind of surprised because I think there's still like a lot I have to like improve, I guess, on like my faith. And so that's something I'm working on. And I kind of admire that over everything that was going on, she seemed fine. And so we talked about it, and she kind of explained that all of this that was happening, that we didn't really have much control about it. Like there was only so much we could do to help the situation. And so she was like, there's really not much benefit in you worrying about it. She said, just kind of try to lay back, enjoy the time you have here. And I'm usually someone that's really, really busy, and I play soccer. I play club and high school soccer, and then I'm involved in a lot of clubs. So she was like, enjoy the time now. Like I hear you on like kind of complaining about how much work you have to do and how much exercise. She's like, just take this time to kind of work on yourself and do stuff you like, and don't worry about a lot of the stuff. So I think once I talked with her, it was really, really awesome, and it kind of calm me down. And I think since then, we kind of just talk about it and give me like Bible verses to like read, and I think that definitely helps. Before this, they left. They left. I think a couple days before they uh, kind of started the restrictions. So it was kind of crazy to see that my I got to see my grandparents for like the first time in like 15 years. And so it was really awesome that I was able to like see them.
That's
And it was,
awesome.
yeah, it was really, really cool. Um, and they left like a couple days before they put in the restrictions. So I was like really thankful. And my mom brought up those points and was like, well, you just kind of, now you see that we can't really take those things for granted. And so I was like, okay, you're right. And that's just kind of what helped me stay like calm through everything, I think.
That's really great. Thank you for sharing that. And it was like so detailed. It was perfect. I'm happy that you got to see your grandparents. I mean,
Yeah,
it's that's a blessing
yeah, it is.
that
It
you
is.
that you were able to do that. Do you think it? I love that you explained how busy you were. Is like the mini
Hmm.
version of me because that was me, right? I was like busy,
Yeah,
busy all the time,
yeah,
and now that I have all this time in my hands, at the beginning it was like uh tough. Like I was like, well, first of all, I took on sleeping a lot. Like the first 2 weeks I slept more than I
yeah.
slept in like my whole
Uh-huh.
life.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah, I started judging myself. I was like, oh, am I being sluggish? But
yeah.
I have a great friend who was like, maybe that's just what your body needs, like let it
Hmm.
be. And
Hmm.
when I stopped like judging myself and I let it be, then it started going on a regular schedule. So now my body's like doing its own. Like I get sleepy at a certain time and I wake up at a certain time and I wake up early, which wasn't the case before.
Yeah,
And it's been a process of learning me outside of all the busy
yeah.
time. So your
Hmm.
mom is very wise. I think she actually gave you the
Yeah.
great advice, right? So kind of like don't worry about it, don't overthink it,
Hmm.
and just be. Allow
Hmm.
yourself to be.
Yeah.
Do you think your mentality has changed from the moment we began quarantine until now?
I would definitely say it has. I think before everything, I felt like, I don't want to say I was rushed, but everything was just kind of something after another. And
Mm,
that's just how it was. And I was so used to it. So I think when this started, it kind of made me pause. And I think that would not have happened if this wouldn't have happened. So I think that kind of gave me time to kind of reflect on everything that I had going on, and
mhm.
just kind of set my priorities straight and realize that all of this, like everything I had going on, isn't necessarily the most important thing I have, which is like my health and my ability to like connect with others. So I think my mentality changed. And I think going out of it, I will value a lot more the time I get to spend with like friends and family and put that first before all the other stuff. So I think definitely my mentality's changed and I appreciate a lot of things and a lot more than I did before. Yeah.
That is great. Yes, I think that's true for a lot of people, right?
Hmm.
Once they get out of this, they everything that they complained about
Yeah.
before, they're gonna think about it twice about they think they're gonna think twice about complaining. So this is definitely that time where people are going face to face with everything that they complained about, and now you don't have it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. With that, what do you think is the overall message for humanity, right? We're going through this globally. This is something
Yeah.
that happened at a global scale. So it's not just the United States
Hmm.
or just California or just New York. Like
Yeah.
we have countries all over the world that have shut down, gone on restrictions. What do you think are the messages overall for humanity?
I think I would say that the message is that I think it's kind of hard, but um, it kind of just goes to show that a lot of the stuff we valued, like maybe um, going to like movie theaters or going out to like concerts or doing these stuff like these things that we found fun aren't necessarily as crucial as like having a good like health department of having enough money given to those departments so they can help the people. So I think it kind of shows that we have to value our nurses, our doctors, all the stuff that we are currently using. So I think after this, I hope that people kind of give give those people that have helped us a more like important role in society and kind of appreciate everything they've done. So I think it will also help kind of maybe um, unify people because
Mm-hmm.
this this like virus was not um, did not make an exception in which country to like attack, I guess. And so no matter how like a richer country is, like the United States, and maybe compare it to some other countries, the impact is still the same. So I think people, I think, should now realize um, that stuff like this we can't really control, but we have to kind of be aware and be prepared next time something like this could ever happen. And hopefully it doesn't, but I think um, it kind of made us more aware that stuff like this can happen at any time, and we just have to kind of be positive and find ways to kind of manage everything.
That is perfect. Yes. Yes, that is so eloquently put. So I am 100% right here, eye to
Yeah.
eye. Definitely. How has your friends, when you speak to your friends, how have you seen them cope with it? Like what has been your experience in talking to your friends? What are they saying about this
Yeah.
whole situation?
Yeah, well, I think the majority of them are having a hard time. Um, and so when I talk to them, I kind of tried to explain to them the way like maybe my mom explained to me, and I think sometimes it can help them, but I think the majority are just trying to distract themselves. And I'm like really lucky. I live like in a apartment complex, and my best friend lives on the floor on top of me, so we can like get on the phone or she'll come down and be like 6 feet apart or stuff like that. And so I can like talk to her and
Wow, that's a blessing.
it's definitely a blessing, yeah. And so I don't I think for that reason I've been able to like stay I guess a little bit more sane than most people because I get to like see her on the phone or I can just like go 6 feet apart and like talk to her. And so I think that's really awesome. But I think um, the majority of my friends have kind of tried to keep themselves busy as
Hmm.
a way to distract themselves from everything we're doing. And like I mentioned before, I play soccer, so my coaches have we get on Zoom calls every week, twice a week to like check in and see how everyone's doing. And he'll assign workouts we have to do or go on runs. And like this week, he assigned us 40 miles we have to complete. So he does this, and he's like, I don't need you guys to like do everything, but it's just like a motivation to like do stuff so you're not here at home thinking about it. And so it really helps that um, I have like an adult in my life like that outside of like my parents that like checks in and is like, I want to make sure everything's okay. And so we take time and we kind of go around on the Zoom call and everyone he does this thing where he wants us to share something negative about our week and then something positive. So we kind of realize that. So that's what I try to like my friends that aren't on soccer. I'll try to like tell them to do that. And I kind of like writing down um, what I enjoyed about my week, or I mean about my day, and then eventually I like see what like the highlight of my week was and what maybe I can work on, and it's like grows and glows. So I think that really helps because I've realized that if I start to pay attention to everything that goes wrong, it's so easy. But it's also so easy to pay attention to everything that's gone right. I enjoy like baking, but I never had time to do any of that because I was at soccer practice, soccer games, doing homework at clubs. And so now I'll like search up like YouTube videos on how to bake different stuff. So I'm doing that and I'm trying to like learn a new skill every day to kind of keep myself busy. I think that's really helped.
That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
You're awesome. You're so awesome. And I think that your wisdom will definitely inspire other kids to
thank
do
you.
the same. So I'm very blessed to be able to connect with you and have this conversation. During this time, I have been thinking about a group of young people that uh, possibly that are right now in a situation where they're probably in a dangerous home or neglected household, or in a situation where they're not is not exactly favorable, and we don't have school, they don't have the parks to go to. What would be your message to these group of kids that maybe don't have someone immediate to talk to? What would be your message to them to get through this? Because it'll pass, but it'll take a little bit more time. What would be your message to them?
Well, I think that's really hard because
Mm-hmm.
I've been blessed enough to be in a family where I've never had to experience anything of that sort. So I think it's kind of
Yeah.
hard for me to I think ever be able to understand that. But I think I would say that although um, it's everything's going on right now. It will pass, and I think I would just kind of motivate them to stay positive and try to see like the bright side of every situation. And I know it can be really really hard, um, but I think um, it'd be good to like keep in mind that after all this is done, they'll be able to go out there and talk to people and if they can, I recommend they like reach out to anyone they can over phone, like anything, to kind of help them and kind of try to talk to somebody if that's going on. And um, I'm pretty sure there's still like resources out there where you can call and maybe just talk to somebody about it. I think that'd be really awesome. And if they have like close friends, I highly recommend they talk to somebody because I think it's a lot harder to deal with something when it's just on your own. But if you have somebody out there that you can talk to, and you don't have to like tell them like everything, but everything is they feel comfortable with, I think would be good. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you for that. Yes, there's always someone to talk to. There's information out there, and there's
Yeah.
places where they can call or text
Mm-hmm.
anonymously if they need to speak to someone. And this is the time to be able to be brave and know that you have options. You have options out there, you have options to connect. And our goal is that if they get to see these videos, to know that they're not alone in this. We're all in this together, and we have our days where we feel irritated and sad and scared, happy, all of it in one. Um, we get to deal with ourselves, right? I think being home and in quarantine and with not an actual set schedule, it forces us to deal with our own our own goodness and our own demons. And
Yeah.
that could be hard, right? To face yourself, and especially face that part of you that you maybe don't like that much.
Yeah,
Maybe I don't
definitely.
like that part of me.
Yeah.
And then work on yourself. So
Yeah,
that was
definitely.
a great message. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much. I think doing this really helps, and I think um, talking about it is something that sometimes people are like afraid to do, but I think it's necessary, and people do kind of ignore um, I guess, the mental aspects of it and how all of this can affect us. As you said, a lot of it is focusing on physical and a lot of the mental effects are marginalized. So it's really awesome that like that you're doing this and you're talking to people and um, giving their situation the importance that is deserved. So thank you.
Yeah. Oh, you're welcome. It's actually I'm honored. I'm honored, and I'm just honored to have you on the call, and to be able to connect with you. It's a
Yeah.
to get on a call with someone that you've never met, that you have no idea where I come from, and share your stories. So thank you for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. Bye.
Bye.